Hello there and welcome back to Midlife. I'm Cheryl. It's late and I am exhausted, but I didn't want another night to pass. We didn't get this thing out in time, but I wanted to make sure that I did it tonight so that I can wish all of the fathers a happy belated Father's Day. I do hope that you had a great evening. So last week we talked about fighting off loneliness in midlife. This week we'd like to cover working to avoid bitterness in midlife years. So stay with us. You know, this is a woman's talk show, but we are familiar with the fact that we get a good bit of support from the men because of the comments on the topic we did on coping with manipulative and abusive adult children. You know, it's very funny because these kids are not biased when they're ready to come after us, and a lot of single fathers are falling in the groove. It's just really sad, but it is happening. And I just want to say the same thing that I've been telling the mothers, is that this stuff is very, very painful, but you are the parent and you've got to make sure that you stay in control. And remember that you did your job already, and you've just got to make sure that you keep yourself sturdy and healthy. It is what it is. As parents, we've got to be the one in control. I mean, these things are happening for a reason. You've just got to find out what is fueling it. I mean, it could be the other parent. It could be something that he or she or they think that you didn't do something as well as that you were supposed to. I mean, it could be so many different things, but we all have different episodes of it. And so you have to kind of go back in your mind and see what exactly is causing this foul behavior that we are coping with from these children, these adult children that we've raised. But, you know, you did your job. And you've got to pay attention to you, because your health and stuff is important. These things are affecting our health because it's very painful. So I do hope that you had a good evening. We are covering a lot of emotional stuff on the channel, and we are doing that on purpose because, I mean, we are focusing mainly on helping the midlife woman to bloom and to look her best. But that's a physical thing. We've got to bring you up to par mentally, because there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of us are coming short on what we're supposed to do to keep ourselves grounded. So I'm a fanatic with the psychology, and what I know, I'm just really happy to share it, because these coping skills, it's very, very important. I lost two family members. One was 58 and the other one was only 48 years old, and it was from stuff like this. If you're not able to cope with some of the stuff that's going on, it can actually shut you down, and I mean permanently. So we all know that we have things happening to us in midlife, and not everyone are able to deal with these issues, these moments, these battles, these silent battles. Last week we talked about us having our own private talk show, and that's basically the story that we're telling ourselves from what is happening, because these experiences, when they keep coming, one can become bitter. I mean, it can happen, and very easily, because if you're not a person that talks about your stuff and you're having these episodes, eventually it can take over your personality. I've seen it. I mean, I have family members, friends that I'm not dealing with now because it's not the same person. It can change a person's personality. These episodes, these seasons of trials and tribs, you know, it's supposed to help to build us, but depending on how we receive it, how receptive we are to these experiences, it can change things for the worst. And that's why I believe you see a lot of people walking the streets and nobody's smiling. It's like everybody's angry and bitter. And that stuff takes a toll on your system, particularly your heart, the heart muscles, because you're not laughing, you're not joyous, you're not pleasant. you're bitter and you're just unhappy, you're angry, these are very, very dangerous emotions to continuously have. I mean, it can take a toll on your health. And then you're ultimately not a pleasant person to be around when that happens. And you can be in a position where you are the stronger one in a relationship. You are the boss to someone. And guess who you're going to take those episodes out on? And it doesn't change anything. Everybody's dealing with something. I mean, for me, when my turn comes around, it's murder. And no one can tell because I'm laughing at jokes. I am smiling all the time. But I'm dealing with it the best way I could. And that is how you have to go about things. Because if you're holding things in, you're not discussing it with anyone, and you're just angry and bitter, and you know for a fact that you're being attacked and things are not working out, you can turn into a very bitter person easily. And so this is why we cover emotional intelligence, learning to understand yourself, your environment, and to control your emotions. Because when we get to midlife, the things, we have to cope with the aging parents, the abusive adult children, it's a lot, the jobs, the finances. And now here we are in a pandemic, which doesn't make things any easier. A lot of people are out of work. It's a lot. And you just have to understand, like a friend explained, up north here we have different seasons, right? We have winter, spring, summer, and fall. So when we get to the winter, you're not going to dress like this, right? You're going to put on your coat and your sweater, your hat, your gloves, and so on. So it's the same as these trials. When they come around, you have to understand how to position yourself to deal with it. And stop being a missile waiting to land, because it takes so much more energy to be angry and bitter, to be mean, than to just have fruit of the Spirit. And that's basically to be peaceful, joyful, pleasant, patient, show empathy, that kind of thing. It helps, to work to be a better person, because you will be a happier person inside and ultimately be a pleasant person to be around. Nothing good comes out of being angry and bitter and having these emotions. It just doesn't solve anything, and it hurts you on the inside. Try to work, as we mentioned last week, try to work to get your endorphins out, and that is your body's natural feel-good mechanism, and that can be ignited by just getting out there and doing some form of exercise. You have happy foods you can eat to feel good inside. If you want to look your best, you've got to feel good before that happens. And it starts with you. It starts with your self-talk and the way in which you deal with whatever battles you're having. It's all about trying to, look your best and have fun with it. It just doesn't pay to be too serious about anything at this point. Check us out at midliferises.com and do subscribe to the channel by clicking on that bell icon. We have stuff like this coming all the time, and you do not want to miss a beat. Remember, knowledge is power. Okay? And we will see you next time. Take care now.